So if you clicked on this video, you most likely just want to hear my opinion on the hacks Evidence.zip 2 situation. If you are already caught up on the entire situation and have watched Hacks' video on it, go ahead and go to this timestamp. If you are completely new to Melee and know nothing about its top players, which I assume a lot of my viewers probably won't, or if you don't know about the situation at all, go ahead and stick around. So on June 4th, 2021, which was just about 2 days ago, a top Melee player by the name of Aziz Al-Yami, better known by their gamertag HacksMoney, put out a 2.5 hour long video detailing how one of Melee's biggest influencers has a secret agenda to take over the Melee community. This big figurehead in the video that's mentioned is Leffen. So for those who don't know who Leffen is or his whereabouts, I'm going to explain that right now. Leffen came to the Melee community almost 10 years ago when he started entering Melee tournaments in Europe in the year 2010, quickly making a name for himself as Europe's second best player. But he wasn't very well received by his community, even going as far as to get himself banned by the use of a file called Evidence.zip. This file called Evidence.zip was a file that was compiled by a lot of Europe's biggest figureheads and even included Hacks himself. This Evidence.zip file detailed all of Leffen's wrongdoings in the community, from discouraging new players to play to making players outright quit the game. The fire that Leffen got from Evidence.zip would fizzle out, and his return to the community would be detailed as him being some sort of anti-hero or villain of the Melee community. That is the TLDR and basically everything up until this point. So to be completely transparent, my name is Raymond Sanchez, my tag is Venolox. I've been playing Melee for around 6 years, starting my Melee journey back in 2015. Like most of you, I came into the community aspiring to be a top player like Mango or Leffen. The furthest I ever got was taking sets off top 100 players such as Homemade Waffles, Army, and Squid. So I'm just saying all this so you guys know that I'm very involved in the scene. I know a lot of the stuff that goes on. I've been going to tournaments for around 6 years, but I'm by no means a veteran. This is truly just an average Melee player's opinion. As a person that plays this game competitively, you can only imagine how much my curiosity was piqued when I was informed that HacksMoney made a 2.5 hour long video about how Leffen has this secret agenda to take over the Melee community. I can't even believe I just actually said those words and it's true. To sum up my opinion of this video in one sentence, this is the shit that happens when you take an almost 20-year-old children's party game too fucking serious. A lot of the points that Hacks brings up about psychology and narcissism is the equivalent of me going on WebMD and convincing myself that I have some chronic illness. It's easy to morph symptoms to fit whatever agenda you're trying to get people to believe in. This, however, is only the tip of the iceberg for Hacks, as the rest of the video only details his further descent into madness. One example I want to talk about right off the bat is his argument about Leffen wearing Adidas wear on one of his streams. So to sum it up, Hacks claimed that Leffen wore Adidas on his stream when talking about the box because Hacks beat him while wearing Adidas wear. That's the basic point. He thinks that Leffen saw him wearing Adidas and then went out, purchased Adidas clothing, and then wore it on his stream as a symbol to say, "Fuck you, Hacks." I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Like, I can't believe these are actual words that are coming out of my mouth. Like, I've met this dude. I've met these people in person. I've met Hacks in person. And I'm like, what the fuck am I actually saying right now? But it only gets worse. Now, not to completely denote everything that Hacks says, because if this video does anything, it really does showcase how much of a stubborn asshole Leffen can be at times. But that's all he really is. A stubborn asshole that takes to Twitter whenever he wants to cry about whatever problem faces his way at the time. But to compare his Twitter feed to the actual press that really controls media, and to say that Leffen is blocking haters in an effort to control the media, is a bit of a stretch in my opinion. I mean, does anyone actually really read into these tweets like they're supposed to? I usually just breeze by, giving them a quick scan and a chuckle, and then going on to whatever I'm doing that day. Rarely do I ever actually take any tweets on Twitter as gospel for the truth in the world. Because honestly, who the fuck has the time for all of that? I mean, if you believed everything you read on Twitter, like, you would have no time for anything in the world. The only point I slightly agree with Hacks on is maybe Leffen inserting himself unnecessarily into the Me Too movement. But I didn't take him posting these videos about the Me Too movement as him trying to put himself on the map as a prophet of this movement and trying to be a victim of it. I took it more as him trying to utilize free content and trendjacking to get more views. As a YouTuber, you know damn well what trendjacking is because everyone uses it. I use it. It's trendjacking is just the idea where whatever trend is popular at the time, you make a video on it and post it within the week whenever this issue is happening, kind of like what I'm doing right now. You know, this Evidence.zip tooth is a big deal right now, but I'm not making this video with some secret agenda in mind. I'm just making this video because I want people to have my opinion and because it's easy content. You know, who doesn't want to make easy content? To sum up this point, it's not so much a Melee issue as it is Leffen just trying to get extra views on his YouTube channel. The only other thing I can see potentially being a real issue is the Samox doc. I am on the side that personally believes Samox shouldn't cut out anything. Obviously, it's very unpopular. I personally believe that a lot of the stuff that Samox said is a part of Melee history. To just outright cut it out makes no sense. That is how those players used to be. If anything, Samox should add an extra section detailing how the two have changed, because I do think it was a bit unfair to just show one side of it, but to cut it out entirely feels a bit unprecedented. Like, why shouldn't we know what these players did in the past? But aside from those two issues as a problem, a lot of Hax's other points are just very far stretches connected by his delusion, especially the parts concerning box legality. Speaking from experience, I myself, having used an Arduino in tournament and having everyone know about it, I know for a fucking fact that Leffen was not the only person that didn't want the box or Arduinos to be legal at the time. I can't tell you how many times I got teased for using Arduinos, even getting banned from a tournament and having to redo an entire tournament set because of my Arduino being in the controller. It was very clear at the time that people just were not ready for the next optimization for Melee. Box controllers, Arduinos, any sort of UCF implementation at the time was just not well received. But that's natural. You know, it's natural for humans to oppose change like that. To say that Leffen's opposition of the box, with his core reason being that he has this secret agenda to kill hacks, it doesn't make any sense. You know, a lot of figureheads at the time didn't like the box. I can count all the figureheads in the Melee community that didn't want the Arduino, the UCF, or the box to be illegal, and now you see a lot of those same people using those items today. You know, these things don't happen overnight. The box doesn't become legal in one day. The Arduinos don't become legal in one day. And the UCF mod does not become legal in one day. You have to see what works and what doesn't. Obviously, Arduinos is something that didn't work. We don't see those anymore, but we do see UCF and we see the box now. At the time, a lot of Melee players besides Leffen didn't want the box in the community. I can tell you how many people I've talked to that didn't want the box to be a thing. Everyone saw it as a cheater's way to play the game. And at the time, there's a lot of people that just really did not want this thing to exist. So to say that Leffen was the only one giving box hate, and for his core reason being the idea that he wanted hacks out of the community, is just complete bullshit. As I said before, a lot of Melee figureheads at the time just did not love the idea of the box. It was just natural. Humans opposed change. No one wanted it at the time. There is one point in this video that I do agree with, and I hard agree with. The button layout for the box. I recently have switched from controller to box, not completely, but more so just trying them both out. I can tell you from experience, using Z to L cancel is a lot better than hard pressing. Hard pressing with the actual buttons limits your options. I don't know how Leffen can even oppose this idea. If you look at the frame data, you are literally locked out of movement if you use the other buttons. You are given more options by using Z instead of using the hard presses. I don't understand how a top 3 player doesn't understand a basic concept of the game, but the Melee community already knows how much of a stubborn asshole Leffen can be. We know that he will never admit he's wrong. Even when he's objectively wrong about something, he will still stick to his guns and say that he's right. That's just Leffen. Instead of making a 2.5 hour long video trying to cancel someone, I would suggest putting that work into something more productive. Comment below sharing your perspective on this whole situation. I feel like the Smash community just keeps getting sucked back into these random drama situations for no fucking reason. I mean, just when we thought we were done with one big issue, here comes another one, just seemingly out of nowhere. I hope this all gets settled properly, but I can't even begin to express how freaking crazy this all is. As a person that's been playing the game for 6 years, I've seen some like weird shit happen in the community, but this just seems way out of left field, and I honestly I'm just like, wow. Like, I'm in awe in the fact that this is an actual thing that's going on right now. But I'm making this video mostly because I know a lot of people out there have the same opinion as me with some of this stuff, specifically to just how delusional the video makes you feel. And like when you kind of get into the mind of hacks, it's just a lot of delusion that he's feeling. It's not really any connections that are really there. It feels more like a conspiracy theorist is kind of trying to tie these things together when they're not really there. There's no connections to be made. You're kind of just fabricating them out of thin air. You know, to me, it feels more like big coincidences than anything else. But nonetheless, I just wanted to make this video because I don't want anyone to be subjected to watching this entire 2-hour thing without really knowing like basically what it entails, because I feel like I just wasted 2.5 hours of my life watching this entire thing. I wanted to watch the entire thing just so I could say I watched it and completely know what's going on. A lot of it's just hacks being very delusional. I'm going to be completely honest. I have been a bit disconnected from the community for a while, but never once have I felt like Leffen's taking over or anything like that. I don't understand how you can even get to that conclusion. I don't know if it's like a personal vendetta that he has or whatnot, but I just hope this whole thing just dies down soon, because this is not a very good look, man. Like, honestly. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out my other videos. I have a lot of other videos. A lot of them don't show my face, though. I just wanted to get this one out as quickly as possible, and this format is the easiest for me to do and edit in a short amount of time. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment below sharing your own personal perspective on this entire situation. I would love to know and read everything in the comments. With that said, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.